people are trying to make this seem like a conservative, modern thing. I'm looking at Chip Roy, Thomas Massey, Jim Jordan. I'm going, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Lauren Boebert. These aren't wallflowers.
No.
And they're going, okay, they thought, and I'm going, so this is where I see a lot of this online, and I'm going, okay, guys, you can't tell me that all of those people are right all the time except this one. And again, the criticisms that Matt brought up, I'm like, 35 years of CRs, I'm with you. Kevin McCarthy's been speaker for, 8 months? Right. And you're telling me that he's responsible for 35 years?
The reason that we had to do a continuing resolution, first and foremost, let's remember, Joe Biden was 97 days late giving us a budget. Let's not forget that. 97 days late.
I thought you were going to say years old, but that's separate.
No, that's coming up. I don't wish the president ill.
No, neither do I. I pray for him every night. When you look at the vice president, I'm like...
He's the leader.
No, he's also he's the only thing standing between us and Kamala Harris.
I was going to say, do you know how many conservative Republicans pray for Joe Biden's health? A lot.
Oh,
me being one of them. So the point being this, the reason we had to do a continuing resolution is because Matt Gaetz and a group of people prevented us from actually getting appropriations bills through. So that's just the truth. And you can go through every one of these congressional things and read that. You can see it all, and they're hiding behind this, and that's just not the case.
Are you worried about the political consequences, right? Because we have a 4-seat majority.
Right.
Kevin McCarthy, say whatever you want about everything else. The guy raised more money, and if you don't have money, you can't win seats. So I'm sorry. And as I've said before, I said it to Marjorie Taylor Greene, who sat right there yesterday, that you guys are the only thing, a 4-seat majority standing between Joe Biden, Chuck Schumer, and running the entire game. Every woke policy, everything, spending, the border, it's already bad. But the oversight doesn't happen. Nothing. If you guys don't maintain a majority, and I don't think people that needs to hit home. McCarthy raised tens of millions of dollars. Say whatever you will about him on everything else. The absence of that, are you concerned that might not give you guys the resources to maintain a majority?
Yeah, of course. Hey, listen.
But by the way, and just to be clear,
yeah,
and McCarthy brought this up on his thing, Kevin, for all the money that Matt Gaetz raises, I don't think a single penny has gone to the team, right?
No, Matt Gaetz is about Matt Gaetz.
So all of what he's doing and raising money is all about for him in a district, by the way, that he holds extremely safely.
Yeah. I'm unaware of Matt Gaetz contributing any money to a single Republican. Maybe he did.
Yeah.
But you got to understand, under Kevin McCarthy's leadership, we continuously gain seats in the House.
Yeah. No, I know.
And the only thing that has stopped the madness of the Biden administration, they had 2 years to run wild. Look what they did. The economy is in the tank. Highest interest rates in decades. Gas prices through the roof. People can't afford their rent. The credit card debt is skyrocketing. The border is open. We had 236,000 or so illegal immigrants enter the country last month alone. More illegal immigrants have entered the country under Joe Biden's watch than the entire population of the state of Wisconsin.
Crazy.
Okay, guess what? The only thing is slowing that roll is a Republican majority.
I get it.
So if all this stuff goes away, if the Republicans lose the House, and we don't get the Senate back, and Joe Biden's reelected, there are 8 Republicans who will be individually responsible for this because they sided with 200.
I get it. So let's talk about the future. Who's the next speaker?
I don't know, man.
Has Steve Scalise or Jim Jordan reached out to you?
I've talked to several different people, and one of the things that
several means more than 2, or actually means more than 3. But
one of the things reporters, one of the reasons they hate me is because I do not disclose private conversations.
Okay, I don't want you to disclose the conversation, but beyond Steve Scalise and Jim Jordan, will you tell me who?
Well, just look at the leadership that we have currently.
Sure, but Emmer says that he's going to run. Tom Emmer, the whip, says that he'll run for
just majority. look at the leadership we have in the House.
Yeah.
In the Navy, there's the term fleet up.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
I do.
So the executive officer becomes
the CEO.
Right. Yeah. Okay, so just look at the leadership. We got Steve Scalise, who's awesome. We got Tom Emmer, who's awesome. We got Elise Stefanik, who is awesome. Richard Hudson, he's awesome. Guy Rauschenthaler, he's chief deputy whip. He's awesome. Here's something that the Republican Party has that the Democrat Party doesn't have: a bench.
Got it.
Okay, here's what.
So do you want everyone?
Here's the other side. We have a bench of awesome people, and then we have a lot of people that I wish were on the bench. You know what I mean?
Okay. So of the people that are part of the bench, do you think that it just should fleet up? Everybody, the XO becomes a CO and Scalise takes over?
I didn't say that, Sean.
I know you didn't. I'm asking.
I was simply pointing out the current leadership that's in place.
I'm trying to get there.
That's okay.
If you were a betting man, would you suggest that the next person so the big names are obviously Scalise and Jordan, or at least from the Twitter.
Jim's awesome too.
Okay,
Thomas Massey's awesome.
Could you I'm not asking you if Steve Scalise calls you today and says, "Hey, I don't think I have the numbers. I'm back in Jordan." Would you be comfortable with Jim Jordan as speaker?
Well, let me tell you this, because we need to back up again. Because these 8 people are not getting away.
Okay.
All right. I don't gamble. Like, I do not gamble. SEALs don't gamble. We take calculated risks. So there are factors that are involved in each individual problem set that you approach. You must evaluate them unemotionally, make the decision that's best for the team.
Got it.
Okay. These 8 people did not do that.
Understood.
They flat out threw the chips to the wind. Unfortunately, the chips are the children in inner cities who rely on some programs so they can eat. The chips are your sailors, Sean, that are not going to get paid when the government shuts down. The Border Patrol agents that are not going to get paid. We're not going to have fuel so that men and women can drive military vehicles to a training site. That is not taking account.
Okay, fine, but then we need a speaker.
Yeah,
we're getting low on time, unfortunately. But just tell me, like, is there anyone of the names I mentioned that you couldn't vote for?
No, not really. No.
Okay, is it your belief? I'm not asking you to gamble on that, but like, there's a speculation that we're not. When I say we're, that that none of these mentioned people, Scalise or Jordan or whatever, can get to 218 because of the 8 or whatever. And we might have this dark horse. You think there's a possibility that that's the case?
Well, the only thing that's not possible is my hair growing back, Sean. That's like it. That's like the only thing I could think of.
If you're listening on the audio, you have to Google the Congressman to understand that joke.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that, but you have not. Is there anyone that you're hearing from the groups you mentioned, the calls, that you think is emerging as the leading candidate?
As I said, the reason reporters hate me, Sean, is because I do not disclose private
conversations. I'm not a reporter, so you can talk.
I know. Okay.
Just us.
Did you hear that?
It's just
it's the two of us. There's no one else here. There's someone there's literally another person right there.
Okay, but he works for you, so that. All right. Let me ask you this then.
Yeah.
We can't have we could, but we won't from a voting standpoint. Do you believe that by next Tuesday, when you guys come back, that we will have resolution? Do you feel confident in the conversations that you've had that's going to
let's think about this. The reality. If these 8 people vote with the 208 Democrats and Miss Bush and Miss Pelosi come back, Hakeem Jeffries can be the next Speaker of the House.
Sure.
Let's just all pause. If these 8 Republicans who voted with 208 Democrats to depose the most conservative Speaker of the House we've had in decades, if Miss Bush was back and Miss Pelosi are back, they could vote Hakeem Jeffries in as Speaker. Why wouldn't they? Because then they get to be essentially in the minority and they just get a gripe all the time. What would stop these 8 people from voting with 208 Democrats again? What?
I know.